Have you heard of runaway climate change? It's not just a buzzword, it means temperatures rise so fast that our planet starts heating itself up even more. A snowball effect we can't easily reverse. If things keep going as they are, by 2050, just 25 years, life on Earth could look completely different. Experts warn the first crisis we'll face is water. Glaciers, which act like giant batteries storing water, are melting. Once they're gone, we'll have to depend entirely on rain, which is getting more unpredictable every year. If our climate keeps shifting at this speed, then by 2050, just 25 years from now, what kind of Earth will we be living on? Will it still be the home we know or something unrecognizable? The first crisis will strike with water. The glaciers, the great reservoirs of life, will begin to melt away. And when they disappear, what will we drink? How will we survive? With glaciers gone, we'll be left clinging to rain. But the rain won't save us. It will come, yes, but flow away instantly. No storage, no relief, only dry land and empty rivers left behind. And worse, that rain will not just pass, it will destroy, flooding, washing away soil, homes, and lives in its path. Because glaciers are more than just ice, they are the Earth's water batteries. They release water slowly, steadily, powering rivers and life itself. But once those batteries run out, there will be no recharge. When snow falls high in the mountains, it doesn't vanish instantly. It stays stored safely at those heights. And then, little by little, it melts and flows down, feeding rivers in a steady, gradual rhythm. A perfect balance that nature designed to sustain life. But with climate change, the snow itself will begin to vanish, less and less each year. At first, it might sound good. No freezing cold, no heavy snowfall. But in reality, it means less water stored, less life sustained, and a slow countdown to drought. And while snow disappears, rain will only grow more extreme, but not when we need it. During farming season, the skies will stay dry, and when we don't need it, suddenly floods will come, drowning fields, homes, and lives, too little when it matters, too much when it destroys. Imagine it, as temperatures soar higher and higher, reaching levels beyond what humans can even endure. 45, 50 degrees Celsius. Where can anyone hide? Where can life survive under this relentless heat? Soon, people will be forced to flee, but it won't just be about escaping the heat or seeking comfort. There's a deeper reason driving this exodus, one that threatens homes, livelihoods, and entire communities. You might think air conditioners are the solution, but they'll only make things worse. Because as temperatures rise past 35 to 36 degrees, even nature begins to break down. Photosynthesis slows, plants struggle, crops fail, and the very air we depend on starts turning against us. Crops will wither, fields won't ripen, vegetables won't grow, plants will halt their work. Because photosynthesis, the very process that sustains life, will slow down. And without plants, what we eat, what we depend on, simply disappears. If plants stop growing, everything unravels. The heat will be unbearable, the fields barren, the rivers dry. There will be nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and survival itself will become a struggle. People will start moving, seeking refuge where the climate is still bearable. Europe, the global north, and when millions cross borders in search of safety, scarcity, and fear will spark conflicts. Wars over water, food, and survival will no longer be distant warnings. They'll be our reality. They'll come and we'll try to stop them. Chaos will erupt everywhere, cities burning, communities collapsing, fire, war, destruction, the world caught in a struggle not over ideology, but over the very basics of life, water, food, and shelter. And as temperatures climb even higher beyond a critical point, the permafrost around the North Pole will begin to melt. Ancient ice, frozen for millennia, will release gases and toxins trapped for ages, unleashing consequences we can hardly imagine. Then methane, locked away for millions of years, will escape into the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases will skyrocket, triggering a feedback loop of warming that feeds on itself. This is runaway climate change, a point of no return, and once it starts, it won't stop, not even if we try. A small leak from a dam can be fixed, but runaway climate change is a flood we cannot contain. It grows, spreads, and overwhelms everything in its path. And when this flood grows unstoppable, chaos will erupt everywhere. Wars will break out from all sides, nations clashing over scarce resources. Food will vanish, hunger will spread, and survival will become the ultimate battle. When I first learned about this, it was hard to comprehend. If this is the future we're heading toward, with hunger, heat, and floods threatening everyone, why are we wasting time on Hindu Muslim politics? Why aren't we fighting for the survival of humanity itself? If you follow the news, you've probably heard it 1,000 times. The climate is changing. Every other week, there's a new report, a new disaster, a new reason to fear. Floods, heat waves, wildfires, the warnings are everywhere. Record after record is being broken. Hottest January in history, February, March, April, May, June, July. Even October is now the hottest ever recorded. Our planet is heating faster than we can imagine. 2024 wasn't just another year, it was the hottest year on record, with global temperatures averaging 1.55 degrees Celsius above pre industrial levels. This marks the first time in history that we've crossed the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold set by the Paris Agreement. And the trend isn't stopping. 2023 and 2022 also ranked among the hottest years ever recorded. We're witnessing climate extremes that were once considered impossible. Air conditioners are flying off the shelves in Ladakh, where snow has vanished from Om Mountain. Kerala is drowning in floods. Here, rivers overflow. There, cyclones rage. The extremes are everywhere, and nowhere is safe from climate chaos. Every month brings a new headline, a new disaster. Each one is a warning. Our ecosystem is shifting faster than ever before, and the balance that once sustained life is breaking down right before our eyes. And yet, when you turn on mainstream media, read the newspapers, it hits you. There's almost no coverage. The crisis that will shape our future barely gets the attention it deserves. You start to wonder, why is climate change, the greatest threat to humanity, getting the least coverage? Maybe if it were framed as a foreign conspiracy, people would finally pay attention. But the reality is far more urgent than any headline or label. We ignore it, we postpone it. Yet this threat is so immense that not even divine intervention could save us, no matter how fiercely we fight in His name. Climate change doesn't care about borders, beliefs, or politics. It spares no one. I think the reason is simple. People don't truly grasp the scale of this crisis. There's hardly any video, article, or report that lays it all out clearly, that warns you if we don't act now, it's over. Ta-ta, bye-bye, gone. If your heart's weak, stop here, because what I'm about to show is terrifying. The full scale of climate change, how fast it's hitting, and how millions, even billions, will be affected. This video will jolt you awake, shock your heart, make your ears ring. It won't just inform you, it will open your eyes to the full, terrifying reality of what's coming. There's a big misconception out there that climate change is just about global warming, that it only means temperatures rising, just getting hotter. That's completely false. Climate change is far more complex and far more dangerous. Climate change isn't just about hotter days, ACs, or what we wear. It means weather itself has gone haywire. Rains where they shouldn't, droughts where water should flow, storms that defy every pattern we once trusted. Normally, we know the rhythm of the year. May brings heat, December brings cold. But climate change is tearing that rhythm apart. Seasons are shifting, extremes are appearing out of nowhere, and nothing feels predictable anymore. May can turn cold, December can scorch, February may drench us with rain, April may feel like autumn. The patterns we relied on are disappearing. Everything is becoming unpredictable, chaotic, confusing. There's a term for this in English, extreme weather conditions. And it's not happening in just one place. Storms, floods, heat waves, and droughts are striking all over the world simultaneously. Leaving no corner untouched, scientists are warning. The world as we know it is changing. Coral reefs, once vibrant ecosystems teeming with life, are vanishing. From 2023 to 2025, the most extensive global coral bleaching event on record has affected 84% of the world's reefs, spanning at least 83 countries and territories. This crisis is driven by rising ocean temperatures and acidification, primarily due to climate change. The Great Barrier Reef, among others, has experienced unprecedented bleaching, with some regions losing nearly a third of their coral cover. If current trends continue, scientists warn that 99% of coral reefs could disappear by the end of the century. These reefs are not just beautiful, they are vital to marine biodiversity, coastal protection, and the livelihoods of millions. The time to act is now. It's raining in the Sahara Desert, glaciers are vanishing in the Himalayas, wildfires rage across Australia, South America suffers drought, and Antarctica is even seeing patches of greenery as ice melts. These are events once considered impossible. And now they're happening. And the changes aren't just happening above sea level, what lies beneath the oceans is shifting too. Below sea level, the story is just as alarming. As air temperatures rise, oceans absorb the heat. Warmer waters lead to acidification, which in turn causes massive coral bleaching. Destroying ecosystems that have thrived for millions of years, marine vegetation is dying. Without it, fish have nothing to eat, and the people living along coastlines will face hunger. The entire oceanic food chain is at risk of collapsing, threatening millions of lives dependent on it. If this continues unchecked, billions of people will be in danger. And it's not hypothetical. Documented evidence already shows that billions are being impacted by floods, heat waves, droughts, and rising seas around the world. Whenever climate comes up in conversation, people often say, it's getting hotter. And yes, the heat is rising, but that's only part of the story. Climate change is about much more than just temperature. Recently, I visited Kangra in Himachal Pradesh, a place famous for snow and cold winters, but there was not a single trace of snow. At 5,000 feet, standing in the sun was unbearable. Just 5 seconds felt like an eternity. The heat was overwhelming, a clear sign of how rapidly the climate is changing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the many dimensions of climate change. So you see, it's not just about warming. Take soil degradation, for example. Fertile land turning barren, crops failing, and our very ability to grow food under threat. Our entire ecosystem is delicately balanced, but when it collapses due to pesticides, pollution, and soil degradation, fertile land turns barren, crop quality drops, and the foundation of our food system crumbles. On top of that, every year, regions face either droughts or floods. Do you realize how many people are at risk? About 80% of the world's population, mostly in Africa and Asia, people just like us, are directly threatened by these extreme events. Hearing this is deeply unsettling because many of us are already struggling with food. And now, with climate change, both the quality and quantity of crops are declining, pushing millions closer to hunger and malnutrition. Ironically, India is one of the countries most at risk from climate change, yet it's hardly treated as an urgent issue here. Serious discussions are almost non existent. Just one protest in Dehradun, and then it fades away. The Hindu Kush glaciers, the source of the Ganga and Yamuna, feed plains where crores of people live, from Banaras to Kanpur, Delhi to Kolkata. These millions are sitting right in the red zone, facing the greatest risk of floods, droughts, and water scarcity. If you look at the population dependent on the Hindu Kush Himalaya rivers, around 1.6 billion people live in the plains and another 400 million in the mountains. That's nearly 2 billion people across India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and South Asia, whose survival depends on these rivers and the glaciers that feed them. Yet climate change barely features in discussions about caste, religion, or politics. Most people still think the snow will just melt, it'll get a little warmer. No big deal. But in reality, it's far more serious than anyone imagines. No, our entire ecosystem is unraveling. It's already impacting humans, but animals are feeling it first. According to WWF's 2024 Living Planet report, the average size of wildlife populations has plummeted by 73% over the past 50 years. This isn't just a statistic, it's a warning sign that our planet's health is in serious jeopardy. 2 centuries ago, if 100 animals roamed the earth, today only about 25 remain. Wildlife populations have plummeted by 73%, and yet hardly anyone seems to care. Think about it. Where have all the birds, vultures, and dolphins gone? Half of the world's forests are gone, and countless species are vanishing right before our eyes. The irony is striking. Today, nationalism dominates the headlines. Don't believe me? Just look at Pakistan, Afghanistan, and yes, that's sarcasm. Meanwhile, the real crisis, climate change, is being ignored. Soon, people will have to migrate, but not because of religion or politics, for climate. Experts warn that massive climate driven migration could even spark conflicts on a global scale. potentially triggering what some call World War III. World Bank data predicts that by 2050, millions will be forced to abandon their homes. With water scarce and heat unbearable, they'll have no choice but to migrate to other countries just to survive. By 2050, India could have as many as 220 million climate migrants. In Delhi, UP, Bihar, the Hindi heartland, temperatures may rise beyond what humans can endure, driving millions to leave their homes in search of survival. This means we may soon have to leave our homes, and it's not decades away. In just 10-20 years, this could become a reality. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, but the urgency is real. But millions have already lost their lives, and crores more will perish if we don't act. This fear isn't panic, it's a wake up call, a necessary warning for survival. Climate change isn't some distant threat, it's already here. Anyone looking rationally can see that by 2030 it will become the biggest issue of our lives. Let this be on record. It's 2024 and we're still ignoring it. On TV, it's always Hindus in danger, Muslims in danger, Christians in danger. But the truth is, everyone is in danger. When temperatures hit 55-60 degrees Celsius, people will start installing ACs in temples and mosques, but even then, most will be forced to stay indoors. The world outside will be almost uninhabitable. My job? To bring you videos like this so you see just how massive this threat really is, how it began, what we can do to fight it, and most importantly, what we are actually doing about it. Let's rewind to the beginning, 19th century, right after our first war of independence. The industrial age kicks in. Cities grow, factories rise, and cars begin to appear on the streets, changing life and unknowingly the planet itself. As the industrial age began, carbon emissions quietly started. Coal was the main energy source. We burned it for power, for development. At the time, nobody thought it was a problem, but that's when the damage quietly began. It's 1938. Guy Stewart Callender, a British steam engineer, compiles data from 147 weather stations worldwide. His analysis reveals that global land temperatures have risen by approximately 0.3 degrees Celsius over the previous 50 years. Callender attributes this warming to increased carbon dioxide emissions from industrial activities, marking one of the earliest scientific connections between human activity and global temperature rise. That was the first real sign of climate change. Callender realized that the extra CO2 released by industry was already affecting global temperatures. At first, few believed him. Many dismissed it as a hoax for decades. Only in the last few years has mainstream discussion picked up. But the truth has been clear since 1938. More and more data shows it. The planet is heating up, glaciers are melting, and ocean levels are rising. In 1979, the first ever climate conference was held. Nations from around the world came together and, for the first time, reached a consensus. Climate change is real, and we must take action. In 1992, at the Global Summit in New York, nations officially identified greenhouse gases, CO2, SO2, and others, and agreed on steps to reduce them. But concrete action, that would take another 23 years to even begin. Looking back at history, one key milestone stands out: the 2015 Paris Climate Accord. For the first time, the world collectively acknowledged the problem. Greenhouse gases must be reduced and climate targets set for every nation. The Paris Agreement set a clear goal: don't let the global average temperature rise by more than 2 degrees Celsius. Since then, every few years, the COP summits bring nations together to declare their climate goals. For example, India aims for net zero emissions by 2070, a shift to clean energy, electric vehicles, and more. The aim is simple but critical: keep global warming within 2 degrees Celsius. Scientists warn that if the global temperature rises beyond this threshold, we could face catastrophic impacts: massive heat waves, sea level rise, and irreversible damage to ecosystems. For us, a rise of 1 or 2 degrees Celsius may sound small, but it makes all the difference. The world's ecosystem is finely balanced, operating like compound interest. Small changes now can lead to massive consequences later. Between 1850 and 1982, global temperatures changed by just 0.06 degrees Celsius. But since 1982, the rate has jumped to 0.2 degree per decade. still under 1 degree Celsius overall, but that's 3 times faster than before. Recent IPCC reports confirmed that global temperatures have already risen by 1.3 degrees Celsius. And even at just plus 1 degree Celsius, the effects are shocking. Glaciers are melting in Antarctica and snow is falling in deserts. Clear proof of the compounding impact of global warming. Here's the critical point. The difference between plus 1 degree Celsius and plus 2 degrees Celsius isn't just 1 degree. It's far more impactful than the jump from 0 to plus 1 degree Celsius. Think of it like a compound effect. If 1 degree Celsius already causes this much disruption, imagine what 2 degrees Celsius will do. Scientists warn that plus 2 degrees Celsius is likely inevitable. But can we still prevent disaster from turning into full-blown catastrophe? I know some of you are thinking, what's the use? The world's doomed anyway. You've seen the memes. What's the use of saving glaciers? They'll burn or drown anyway. It makes you wonder, if we don't fix the climate now, who will deal with the consequences? Maybe one day, people like Elon Musk will have to move to Mars to escape what we created here. It may not show up in local politics, but on a global scale, countries are uniting like never before. The only times we've seen such cooperation were during the world wars and the COVID crisis. Not even at the Olympics do all countries come together like this. So, what can one person actually do in the face of such a massive challenge? I believe one person alone can't solve this. Real change requires policy action at the macro level. Only then can climate change be addressed seriously and effectively. But still, there are 3 things you can do individually. First, reduce your carbon footprint. Remember, everything you buy has a carbon cost. So reduce, reuse, and recycle wherever possible. Second, and this one's challenging but impactful, shift towards a vegetarian diet. Meat production carries a far higher carbon footprint, so choosing plant-based foods helps reduce your personal impact. Third, and this one you can't do alone, make climate change a political and electoral issue. Demand strong policies, vote for leaders who prioritize the environment, ask tough questions, join protests, and raise your voice. Collective action is essential. Make climate change an election issue and start today. From everything I've read and understood, it's my duty to make this video. If you agree, share it, spread the message. The biggest issue isn't religion or politics, it's the environment, and we all must protect it. Share this, post it, cut clips, make reels, just get this message out. Climate change must become the country's #1 issue, and it starts with us spreading awareness. Many organizations and individuals are already raising their voices for the climate. Let's strengthen that movement. If we all speak up together, maybe a true unstoppable movement can emerge. Please share this video everywhere. Forget religion, inflation, unemployment. The biggest issue for the country, the world, for you, me, and all of us is climate change. This is Life Decode, where we uncover the truths that shape our world. Today, we've seen the reality of climate change, its scale, its urgency, and the role each of us can play. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Awareness must turn into action. So think, speak, vote, and act for the planet, for the future, for the generations to come. If this video opened your eyes, share it, discuss it, and keep the conversation alive. Because the biggest problem of our time deserves the biggest attention. This is Life Decode. Stay aware, stay responsible, and together let's decode a better future.